Welcome back to Careful Boys, everybody. We are the most careful of all the boys in the world.
All the time.
All in one place. Yep. We have with us today Mr. TJ Lee.
Allegedly.
And we also have Silent Mike over at the big boy table.
Big boys. And if you guys might be wondering who TJ might be, this is basically the part 3 of the saga
It would be part 3, yeah.
of Ryan.
TJ's like, what
Can
the
we
fuck?
catch them up and fast forward catch this guy up?
Yeah, what saga?
So I told a long story about this car accident that I was in, where I had a friend in the back seat who wasn't wearing a seatbelt when the car went tumbling down an embankment, and he was paralyzed as a result of the accident. Had a 13% chance of any improvement, paralyzed from the torso down, and here he is today.
And it's funny because I started getting random messages. I'm like, what's going on?
I didn't tell him that I told the story at all.
I guess the people like really just like looked through your stuff and then found me. And I was
How do they do
We
that?
have great stalkers that are fans.
Yeah.
Our fans, like, they're very invasive.
Imagine they picked the wrong friend. They're like, hey man, heard about your situation. It's Eris. It's Hawk.
Yeah, because I didn't name him because I don't know. Like I never really like even tell that story unless it's like a personal conversation. So I was like, I don't know if he wants me to like put it out there. So I just didn't name him. But then they found him anyway. So
And then I watched it and I was like, what? There's things that you even haven't told me. And I watched
Yeah,
it. I
there's,
found out there and I was like,
So we heard his story. What from your perspective, like starting from, I guess, either if you were conscious after the car rolled down the mountain or on the road, like what is your perspective?
Oh, by the way, he blames himself for going up there because of the girlfriend
that's the
situation.
part that I never told him about.
Oh.
The first time he ever heard me.
Did you
say
guys
that,
talk
like-
about that?
No, he hit me up a little bit. He was like, dude, I didn't know that that's how you felt about it.
yeah.
Like
it
was,
I just-
or yeah, just a guilt.
right after
like,
you guys shot it.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
like, what the heck? And then I talked to him about it. The funny thing is, prior to going up, we were just hella hyped because I just finished college. Or it was like the high school, so it was like the week before I'm going to go start school. And Ryan's like, we should do something. We should do something.
See, I told you I started
online.
it.
Online, just like on AIM, on AIM, like, hey, let's do something. Yeah, let's do something. Not knowing girl. And then my other friend had a girl like he wanted to see up there. So I was just like, oh, guys trip.
You would have been like fifth wheel, bro.
Yeah, I didn't know until after.
So you just wanted to like NorCal.
Let's go! I'll drive. Can any of you guys drive stick? They're like, no. I'm like, well, all right. I'll drive. So we did our trip. We did our thing up there. Dropped you off. Not even close to the bay. I was like an hour and a half outside
yeah,
the
it's
bay.
pretty far. Yeah.
What, like Stockton or something?
Yeah, where are you kicking it? Jackson?
Danville.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, you guys made it to NorCal?
Yeah, we did. It was on the way back.
So yeah.
Okay, it was on the way back.
Dropped off Ryan. I went to go visit my family in SF, and they're like, "Why are you here?" I was like, "Oh hi, just here. I didn't
Spontaneous
just,
guys
you know,
trip.
just here chilling, and then I'm gonna go back like tomorrow tonight." They're like, "Okay," and then all of a sudden, the other friend gets a call. He's like, "Oh, my girl's like she's in San Jose. Let's go." I'm like, "All right, let's go." So I dropped him off. I come back to the bay, and all of a sudden, the other friend's like, "Oh, like I got get picked up now." I was like, "All right, cool." And as soon as I picked them up. Go back to his family, eat some dinner, and Ryan's like, "Hey, you gotta come now."
Oh wait, that's right.
Why did you have to come now?
Because because my girl, her parents got home early, and they caught me with her, and they were like, "Get out!" And I was like,
And Ryan's out here pulling up his pants. All right.
Fuck.
I remember the directions that he told me, like, when you get there, like, park, like, 2 houses
yeah, I was like,
down.
she was neighbors with Gary Payton of all fucking people.
No way.
GP,
The
dude.
basketball
gloves, the
player?
fucking glove.
What?
He's got his own hotline now, I think. Yo, huge fan.
Park next to Gary Payton's house, I'll come running out.
Just roll up. He's like, "All right, go." I was like, "All right." That's the end of the trip. As we're driving down, I drove like 20 hours, 12 hours. I don't know, just
Something
it's like 2
crazy,
days.
yeah.
And then I showed my friend how to. Well, Ryan told me all this crazy story. We're like, "Well, you had a rough day. Well, we'll drive. I'll drive it."
Ryan's about the wise ideas, it seems like.
The fucking worst.
Oh shit.
I'm the
getting
idea,
tired.
man.
It's not that hard to drive stick once you get started.
True.
So I showed him. I showed my buddy how to drive it, and I was like, "Hey, just give me like a couple hours, and then I should be good. I just need a little quick break. You know, we could get there." Turned out he drove like most of the way, and
Yeah.
then right before, all I heard was, "Oh shit!" and then blacking in and out.
So you were sleeping, and then you heard the crash happen, or what happened there? Like you.
I just heard the driver go, "Oh shit," and then all I hear is like just like dust and just like tumbling.
Did you wake up to it, or were you just kind of resting?
I woke up to him saying because he was so loud.
Yeah, we woke up at that moment and then just.
You were in the back seat?
Yeah, I was in the backseat, so it was a 2-door Nissan Sentra.
Yeah.
And so I was like laying down. So I just need some rest. I just drove for like so many hours.
Yeah.
And then, oh shit. And then when I woke up, I was like,
What was the first thing that you saw when you woke up?
it was just dark because I was inside the car.
Yeah.
So, and I think I was just like, hey, but I couldn't really talk. So I was like, hey.
You remember asking us to like pull you out? And
Yeah, I was
stuff?
like, hey, you guys good? And then
Did you feel pain? Did you?
I was just numb and cold and tired. A lot of it was just tired. I was like,
Fatigue.
yeah, because I didn't sleep, and I was like, "Hey, you guys good? All right, pull me out." Which probably wasn't the smartest.
No, yeah, but you didn't feel your neck at all, huh?
No. I didn't
So
feel
at the
anything.
time, during the crash, he had slit his throat, and yeah,
Oh, you could kind of see the scar.
yeah, and it was all just like I was trying to like stop it. I couldn't. It was just like all.
Which he
coming
didn't
out
tell me.
crazy fast.
So like recently, a couple years back, because I was just like, "Hey, I'm just tired, man. I just need sleep." Not knowing that I'm bleeding out, and him not telling me. I'm
well, yeah,
just
I
like-
mean it's a bad time to tell you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just tired. Can I go to sleep? He's like, no, like talk to me. Like,
Yeah.
you just
I
asked
was
me
like,
a
you
question.
just wanted to go to sleep the
I'm
whole
like,
time.
Yeah.
I'm sleepy. And
He
I'm
just kept saying like,
cold.
dude, I'm tired.
Oh, you're cold and sleepy because you're dying.
Yeah, but I didn't know. I was just like, oh, cool. I don't know what's going on. Ryan's just like, just talking like, oh, and all of a sudden like fading in and out. And the helicopter gets there. That's like
That was
yeah.
the next thing you remember, the helicopter, huh?
Yeah, and then they're like, hey, like stay awake. I'm like, huh? Dude, I'm tired, dude. Like, how much?
I was so sleepy.
Fading fast, man. Oh my! Isn't
That's
that
what-
insane?
That's crazy.
Could you see like his face turning blue or anything like that? Like
It was so dark. All I saw was, I mean, I could make his skin apart from his blood, and that was it. Oh my Like, it's just the shades because they were far apart in the spectrum. Other than that, it's pitch black. There's no light out there.
How's your memory? Because like trauma is like known to like bust everybody's memory.
It's pretty, I mean, every now and then I'll just remember little things here and there, but I think for the most part, I'm pretty calm when things get crazy. Like, my reactive thinking
Yeah.
is pretty chill.
That's scary, bro.
TJ, when Ryan went to go flag someone down, do you remember him leaving you for that moment?
Yeah, I just remember just looking at the stars and I was like, shit. I'm tired. And also like, oh, there's a lot of stars. You know, we're looking from the
Were
city,
you
right?
like mentally? Were you mentally alert at that point? Like,
I guess I was just groggy.
so you didn't feel like I'm fucked up.
No, it's just kind of like I'm cold. Well, being so cold and fatigued, I was just like, oh, I can't move. All right, cool.
you didn't feel any type of like shock or stiffness? Because I got in a car accident too where we were like our car spun and then it hit a light post, and once it hit the light post, like I was out. But then when I woke up, I just remember my body like being so fucking stiff and molded in a way that I never felt before, and I almost had to like crunch and flex my way out of
But
it.
he was also paralyzed, so when he says he doesn't feel something,
Yeah.
It was just like
He was
instantly-
already paralyzed
That's
at
like
that
the way I
moment.
bounced around like a ping pong ball.
God.
It's so weird. It's like I can look back at it now and like just laugh because. So the funny thing is, say if I was like sitting up in a seatbelt, everyone's always like, "Well, why were we laying down with seatbelt?" I'm like, if I had a
It's always
seatbelt
something.
on, I would just been crushed like inside a soda can.
Because if you look at the car, when we went to the junkyard and finally got it back, it was like a can.
you can tell.
So was it actually lucky that you were laying down flat?
And you guys were good?
Yeah, well, yeah, for the most part. The driver was like totally good.
You were sitting shotgun?
Yeah, the main thing that fucked me up was just the airbag.
Yeah.
Because airbags destroy you.
Yeah. I've had an airbag explode my face. It hurts so bad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember talking to you last time about. I do remember like a glimpse moment of you trying to grab onto something, and you said like,
Yeah.
you're like, "Don't grab me" or something like that. Or just you reacting because I was reacting. So I'm trying to grab onto something, and you're just like.
I think
this.
because I didn't have a headrest on my seat, my head was like this. I think you tried to grab. You tried to grab. I'm like, ah! But all I remember is as we were rolling. But I'll never forget this fucking visual because I don't think you could see this anywhere. But when you're rolling in a car, it's getting fucking visibly smaller as you're just looking at it, and it's just like
a can is crushing around you.
yeah, it's because like you're going like this, but from your perspective, you're like steady cammed in the
right,
car, so it's like you're on a gimbal, basically just looking at the fucking.
You're able to see all these key.
Good analogy.
Last week we went on a hike and we saw like at least 3 cars that were just crushed off of the side.
They just
of the-
leave them there.
Yeah, because there's a highway. It's right by the Hoover Dam, and there's a huge highway there. And then I was like, wait, that's a car. And then there's like an axle on the ground. And then you walk a little bit more, and there's like 3 cars stuck, and all of them were crushed.
Whoa.
Because it just probably cost so much money to lug that. They're just leave it there.
It's like mountain climbers that just get frozen in the fucking.
Or you go racing up in the mountains and just leave it there.
So do you
I haven't
remember?
done that kind of.
Do you remember when you were finally we were in the hospital together, and then we're separated by this like curtain, and I could hear everything that you were going through. Like I could hear the doctors saying like, okay, they were trying to tell you what they're gonna do. I don't even think you were like.
Dude, I don't remember. They're just talking
They
so
were
much.
they were just telling
I mean-
you, okay, now we're gonna do this. I remember at one point they said we're gonna drill holes into your skull
I don't remember.
to hold your shit. Remember
So
that?
this is that was like my first time ever in a hospital. So all the information, even now as working in healthcare, like there's so many questions. Like it's just like going back. I'm like, cool. All I heard was like surgery. Okay, cool. And then
They're like, not if you
and then
agree.
your friends are here. Okay, cool. Like your family's here. I was like, but then I think he said that your family's here and my mom's there, and that's where I was like, oh shit. Like,
Now I'm in trouble.
now I'm in trouble.
Because we're still like 18 or 19
Yeah,
at the
I was like,
time.
I'm
so
in
it's
trouble.
like,
I didn't even
fuck.
tell her.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Asian, so it doesn't matter if I'm paralyzed, I'm gonna whoop my ass.
Yeah,
Do you remember the moment from the crash getting put in a helicopter, going to the hospital? Do you remember any of that stuff?
I remember from EMT coming, like glimpses, and then helicopter. I was like, oh, it's cold. It's extra cold. And then it's like, I can't open my eyes. Oh, and then there was the guy that put me in, and he was just like, all right, just trying to keep me awake, like name, information, address, allergies, this and that. I was like, you really want to know my allergies? I'm allergic to cats. That's all I know. It's like, okay,
Get that cat out of there.
Puts it out of a helicopter.
Did you remember that at one point when you were laying there, they threw a sheet over you because you were cold? But
Oh,
from
yeah.
our perspective, it looked like you were fucking dead.
I think when it did that, I was just like, I got a little like warmth. I was just like, this is nice.
Trying to just go to sleep again, huh?
Yeah, but
Holy
dying really.
shit.
Not going to sleep.
I didn't know that you were alive until we got to the hospital. Like until they took me in the ambulance and I was in the room and they were like, "Oh, your friend's right there." I was like, I thought he was dead because you guys did the whole thing from the fucking movies.
Cause you guys got ambulance that got flown, right?
Yeah, but I didn't even know that. They didn't even tell me that.
Then you got flown first class. That's sick, man.
Air Force One.
Everyone-
Do you remember they put this frame? It looked like a box, and it's like it was a bunch of metal, and it was connected to your head.
Like inside,
Well, it was like an exoskeleton.
They call it a halo. It's a
Yeah.
halo device.
but it's not in your bone.
It's in the bone.
Yeah, because I've seen some on like arms and stuff. Maybe not a head, but similar where it's like in the bone, but it's out the bone. You're like,
Whoa. How does that even work?
Regina George in Mean Girls. That's
yeah.
same exact setup.
And then didn't they do something to your teeth?
Oh yeah, they freaking put that.
They like knocked your teeth out to
So
put
the
a
funniest
tube.
thing, so I don't remember them putting that on because there was like a lot of stuff going on. I'm just kind of like looking at the bright light. I kind of saw you guys pass by, and then I saw my mom, and I was like, I'm so sorry, holy shit. And then they're like, he's gotta go to surgery. I'm like, cool. They're like, cool. Like, the crazy thing is, the time that happened was the only like the doctor, he was staying extra like just overtime just for no reason. So like the timing of it was like, oh, we could get you into surgery now because this guy's a specialist. So I went in surgery, and they're like, count from 10. And I'm like, all right, 10, 9. I woke up like, oh shit, I was supposed to count down from 10, and the surgery was already done. I can't move. There's like a thing, so I was like counting in my head, and then I'm like just in the dark in the room, just like looking, and then okay, cool, can't look. What the fuck did they do to my teeth?
So were you like 8, 7, 6, and you're like, wait a minute, they finished?
10. I went from 10 to 8, which is funny because I had another surgery before, and I was like, I'm gonna get to like 7 this time. It's the same thing. 10. No. It's like it's so funny. Wake up. I'm like first I was like coughing because it's like there's a tube down my throat. I'm like,
Can you feel it on the inside?
oh, that was like the most horrible feeling. So like during COVID they said, oh, that's what you need to do. I was like, hell no.
Yeah,
I'm not going back.
again,
I'm not going. I know how that feels. So like they like busted the tooth and I was feeling my and I was like, why would they do that? And then all of a sudden I was like,
Just for kink.
yeah, and no
Don't kink
one's
shame the doctor.
It's like looking around, there's no one in there, and I was like, well, I need to figure out just what happened. And the only thing in my mind was, if this is an air tube, I should, if I close it and it beeps, someone will come.
Oh, smart.
So for like a good 30 minutes, I'm just slowly gnawing at this tube, and then I finally get there, and it beeps. The nurse comes in super fast, are you? Oh, I'm like, I could breathe. Or I thought I could breathe because later on I found out my lungs collapsed. But I was just like, I could breathe. Like, okay, cool. Like they take it out. Like, oh, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, as soon as that happened,
They knocked their teeth out for nothing?
I don't know.
They probably had to
know
at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, later on, my lungs. They told me one of my lungs collapsed. So I was like, I guess not for nothing. I guess it was keeping me alive. But I was just like, I felt like I could breathe because I was like,
What was the injury actually to your spine?
C4, C5, they said it just compacted really hard, so all the nerves just kind of severed, semi-severed. So it's like an incomplete surgery. So incomplete means it didn't fully sever, but they don't know what's gonna happen. And then another part of my cervical spine just got crushed. So just all 2, 3, 4, 5 around. That's a whole section. So it's really high up because my head just got.
What was the recovery process like? Were you paralyzed? What was the first thing that you gained function or feeling?
The recovery. Well, I didn't even move for 4 months. Even when you visited me, that was
When did you realize you were first paralyzed, and how did you deal with it?
I think once I woke up, I'm like, oh, this is kind of real.
From 10, 9, so you didn't know until you started counting.
I didn't know what was really going on because I'm still kid, never seen anything, never been in hospital.
Probably pumped full of drugs.
Yes,
too, yeah.
You didn't go nurse, can you touch my penis? I'll see if I can feel it.
That would have been the
would've been
play.
pretty good.
That would have been the play.
Later on, I'm just like,
I'll see the Blink 182 cover.
but it's not the same like what you watch online.
Because Bakersfield is all male nurses.
It's cool, bro.
Let's go then.
Give it a whirl.
Older ladies. But it's weird because all that stuff comes later on. We're like, oh, but yeah, what was it?
Oh yeah, so you woke up 10, 9, 8, and you go, I'm paralyzed.
Oh yeah, when
Yeah.
did the word paralyzed even enter your mind?
I can't feel my hands. I can't feel what happened. Can you move it?
Everything after the surgery, and I was like, oh shoot, I can't move. Even with that, I couldn't even move more because even without it before surgery, I could move a little. It was just straight up just stuck.
What's the feeling of paralyzed?
Let's see.
Or no feeling?
The absence of it?
The stranger. So you sit on your hand, it gets really numb. You can't move it.
That's a good analogy.
But even numb is a feeling.
We all relate.
Yeah.
The stranger.
Now I get it.
But it's just a bigger stranger.
Now I get it.
That's a bigger stranger.
So, yeah. So just everything numb, and it's funny because in your head you're move, what the heck, just something, and just nothing. So I'm like, cool. Just
What about the
standing there.
psychology part of it? Because there's a time you have to accept the state of paralysis, right? How was it going? Oh shit! I guess this is the rest of my life.
It hit me when a lot of friends would visit. In the beginning when they visit, because they're there and they're standing far. I'm like, yo, who's there? Come close. I can't move. That's the biggest part. I was
Yeah, you can't turn and just go, oh,
yeah,
hey.
hey, yeah, or you put the bed up because I have no controls.
That's
who's over there?
right.
That's where I'm like, okay.
Because whatever configuration he's laying in, that's him. So you have to go,
Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. But yeah, didn't get any movement for 4 months. So it's kind of it was just breathing exercises because
Today's video is brought to you by Upstart. Nothing is more discouraging than paying towards your credit card, but barely making a dent in your debt.
That's why Upstart is here to help you pay off your debt quickly, so you can finally get ahead.
Upstart is the fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan all online.
Whether you're paying off credit cards, consolidating high interest debt, or funding personal expenses, Over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment.
Upstart knows you're more than just your credit score and is expanding access to affordable credit.
Unlike other lenders, Upstart considers your income and current employment to find you a smarter rate for your loan.
With a 5-minute rate check, you could see your rate up front from loans between $1,000 to $50,000 and receive your funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan.
Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/offtherecord. That's upstart.com/offtherecord. Don't forget to use our URL so they know that we sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based off your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/offtherecord.
And then what was like the first movement after 4 months that like was like, oh shit?
So even before that,
You got a little
The little
that happens with the connections not even there. So that's just like physiological.
Whoa.
Weird when you're like,
That's a dope ass
Fertile man, just
like it moves on its own. Like it moves and then you feel it move.
The sensory, it still goes on. Like it's because biologically it'll still like get aroused or up.
Yeah.
But then like it's weird because you see a pipe going through it and you're like, it should hurt. A catheter.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It doesn't hurt. But so I'm like, oh, so eventually, so it goes from not even movement, it goes from like, oh, nothing hurt, nothing, no feeling, to all of a sudden, tingling. I get really hot and cold, and all of a sudden, that was like the first. I was like, ow, oh wait, ow.
Let's go.
my dick hurts and I love it.
You guys hear my dick hurts. What was the first thing?
I said ow.
Was it really your penis?
Because what they got to do a catheter every 4 hours, right? Just to keep on schedule. And doesn't.
So that was the first thing.
You guys ever have a catheter?
Nope.
Anyone?
Sorry, TJ?
Yeah, it goes,
a great nurse.
they're going like really fast just because they have like hundreds of.
Hundreds of penises they gotta handle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Penis only
Thousands even.
So the time that they did it, and I was like, ow, whoa, this is something new, and I kind of just like to deal with it, like, ow, okay, this is interesting. They said nothing's in return, so I was like, okay, cool. If that hurts, other things can hurt. So like the next day, like a shower, and I'm like, oh, it's hella hot. What the heck's wrong with the shower stuff here? It's like, oh, that's cool. Okay, there's more pain.
You can feel your skin's feeling
So
now.
it's like really hot,
I never knew that's how it
cold,
was.
numbness, then went hot, cold, and then pain, and eventually it's just like, you want to try moving? I was like, oh, okay, even just something small as that, and I was like, okay.
Busted a Uma Thurman.
How? Yeah. Was it like a Kill Bill big toe like a moment, or like how did you create the connection like like that?
I think I did see that movie. I saw a movie on like TV, or someone brought a DVD, and I was like, I ain't got nothing to do. TV's off. I was like, I was still a night person. You know how we used to just hang
Yeah,
out? I'm still
all
a
night.
night person, so I was just like, I'm gonna just try it. Just keep moving, like for like hours, because I have nothing to do. It was like, and I could have sworn I saw it wiggle, and then I was like, nurse, like there's like a button, and I pushed it with my head. Hey, is it moving? Like, just go to sleep, dude. Like, it's like 2 a.m.
Fucking whack ass.
It's like, what are you doing, nurse?
It's like she comes and you're on the parallel bars. Like, look, nurse, look what I can do.
Yeah.
Get the fuck off of here.
Doing an iron cross.
Out of here. Go to sleep, man.
Floating.
So they're like,
Doing up at this time.
looking, and they're like, nah, dude, just go to sleep. You're tired. It must have been a mental thing. I was like, alright, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying
It's in
to
your
figure
head.
out.
First finger was like,
Hey,
fuck
but
you.
the nurse was cool though.
Nurse, is it moving?
Come on. Nah, not the middle finger.
Go to
but,
sleep, dude.
But he was a cool nurse because he brought me food because hospital food sucks, and for months I could only eat things that's the consistency of applesauce and mashed potatoes. So I lost like 70. I was a big boy.
Super skinny.
You were a big boy?
I was over 200 pounds. Just eating that stuff
Isn't
for
that
like
weird to think?
yeah. Holy shit. I was a big boy until hospital, and it's
Then he
like
turned into fucking Kate Moss afterwards.
just eating that consistency. I was like, I'm just not gonna eat food. This is whack. Everything just tastes like mashed potatoes. Even now, like mashed potatoes, like
You don't like it.
it's a tier 0. It's not even up here anymore.
Sorry, hometown
Got
buffet.
demoted.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Sorry,
Like, yeah, and then eventually, I was like, hey. Now they're like, oh, your toe did move. Like eventually, and then I was like, oh, cool. Like,
We checked the cameras. You were right.
You were right.
It wasn't paranormal.
Yeah, you
We
weren't
fired
sleeping.
that nurse.
Were you paralyzed from the neck down? So you were able to speak and like, and then so
Totally, which was I think the like the best thing that could happen. I'd rather have like this intact than all this stuff. Like,
Because you can communicate and stuff, right?
Which they thought was just crazy.
I can't believe Kill Bill inspired you to start wiggling your body parts.
I had nothing else to do.
That's
Like-
genius, dude.
Like 2 a.m. It's like, oh cool. I'm just gonna watch just a blank screen on a TV.
Good thing they showed you Kill Bill and not like Misery or something. Oh, imagine. We got two choices, TJ.
Misery? Or a fucking $1 Million Baby?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Or Beautiful Mind.
Oh no.
The nurse is all
just math
in your head,
problems
dude.
in my head.
What was the major, like, when were you able to, like, sit up all the way?
So during therapy, they would sit me up all the time, and then they would do like balancing exercises. So like sit me up, and then they're like, oh, like hold yourself, and then just like
Holy shit.
well, but eventually I could like slowly keep myself up higher and hold it longer, and that's how like even with the hands and like they're just like force feeding you and doing things. I'm like, dude, I can't do this. Like my therapist would be like, we're playing Jenga today. I was like, we're playing. You want me playing Jenga? Are you serious? Like, what the heck is going on? Like, oh, I went to arts and crafts. I'm like, I'm down. I'm in here. I'm listening to you. I don't have really nothing else to do anyway.
Yeah.
I'll try everything. I went through all their activities, but
Someone's
eventually-
holding your hand, or you're trying to move and do it?
So they had like a little skateboard type of thing. So my left hand came in first, so they put it on
Little
that
tech
one.
deck.
Tech decks.
So they kind of move it around, and they try to do this hand. I'm like, well, this hand can't really do much. And then next is like so they put like straps on me to keep me up, and then they like loosen it, like if I could keep myself up, boom, and it's just kind of like.
What was your percentage of recovery?
Well, I think so. After that, while I was in the first hospital in Bakersfield, they gave me like only a 4% chance of anything.
But it's Bakersfield, so they're
Kern County.
The math is
They're wrong.
Kern County thinks differently. Yeah, they told me 13 when they were like. When I
See,
asked
numbers
about
all
it,
over the place.
They said 13%. I was like, why would you even fucking say a number then? 13?
Like he knew. Like he
made
did
it
the
up.
math.
Yeah. It's not 12.5.
percentages.
I
because
don't
it's very
know.
like it's very black and white because there's just
And it was
oh.
changing so much too.
Yeah.
Like that's the initial one, and then it changed a lot.
And as I'm slowly getting things back, they're just like, oh cool, like we'll keep extending your stay because with the whole like medical system, if they kind of like see your diagnosis, like oh cool, he's gonna be here 4 months max, and then he's gonna go home because it's not much. But every time something else came up, they're like, oh cool, you could keep extending and extending.
but that's more money for them, right?
Yeah.
That's based
For
on-
me. Well, first of all, I have insurance, so like all like
Damn.
child services and Social Security, all that like, kicked in, which was nice because like my parents were like hardworking people, kind of. I don't know, they were broken up at that point, but at least because of their record, that I was able to qualify for all that, and I had to pay for that because that's hella expensive.
What do you think you would have racked up to like $1 million?
Dude, easily. Even the helicopter ride alone, like. And then,
Yeah, because they went over the Hollywood sign and tours.
Get a candlelight
You gotta
dinner.
pay for that cat they dropped.
That's the guy that created Herbalife. Showing you all the shit you don't want to see. That's great, thank you.
we're not in a hurry. We're not in a hurry.
Fucking cat's still in here.
That's Torrance. You know about Torrance? It's a shit that doesn't.
First time in California, TJ. Let me show you my talent.
Shit that's not even cool. That's Hawthorne right there. How about it, huh? Hawthorne.
How about it?
Oh, man. Is that journey what inspired you to become a therapist?
Occupational therapy was not on my list because that was just like telling me to do stuff I can't do, like Jenga. Let's paint and stuff. My thing was like, oh, physical therapy. I know why physical therapy gets all the love because it's all
What
like
is the difference between the two?
So think of it as physical therapy, you need the movements to do things, right? So the occupational therapy is taking the physical movements and do stuff that gives you meaning. So like in your life, it's mainly a lot of movement stuff, but it's kind of like throughout your day, you're like you're a father, you're a boss, a CEO, like all, but what's all the little things that make your job. You know, like
Like pick my nose or whatever.
yeah, stuff like even picking your nose. I was like, I just want to be able to pick with my nose.
Pick your
I was
nose like a pro.
So it's like things like that to give it more context, not just movement. But then even like I didn't know of occupational therapy back then. I was just like, I ain't gonna do that. But as I was like getting into like my health education degree, my undergrad, I was like, oh, I actually have a lot of first-hand knowledge where it would work. But then actually, so I was like, oh, let me check out the therapy stuff. I went to PT. I did some volunteering, and I was like, yo, this is kind of boring. It wasn't really like a exercise and this and that. That's all it was. I'm like, cool. And then I finally saw like the OT going at it. I'm like, it makes sense.
Is occupation is the difference like physical therapy is more like enhancement and occupational therapy is like rehabilitation?
I mean, they're all like same. They're all on the same
Physical
team.
therapy more like gross motor movement.
Yeah, more gross motor.
And occupation is more like fine. Like what are the things that you do in life? Right?
Because of a lot
everyday
of stuff
things.
that we do is very like fine motor.
Yeah.
So that's like the stuff that gives you meaning, like being able to go on your type on your phone.
What about masturbation? Is that gross?
Yeah,
or
that's part of ADL.
For
They
some
call
people.
it activity as daily living, and I actually had to take a class.
Daily, bro.
I took a class. It was funny. Like, you want to check out this class with other people? And they'd show these like really old videos of like 70s, 80s. Like it felt like softcore porn, but it's because like
And then it's like, this is masturbation.
and it's just like just disabled people like going at it, and I was like,
Disabled people going at it.
yeah, because like it's still possible. Like all this stuff, I'm like.
Oh.
I'm like, cool. I can't even like move everything. You're already showing me this stuff. That's cool. Like, it's like just more stuff to like stab me with. Like, oh, I can't do this right now.
Because you worked with so many kids, whenever the kids were like, I can't do it, were you like, I fucking did it, do it.
Yeah.
I fucking did it to the kids.
4%, you motherfucker.
4.
Ryan's video said 13.
Yeah, well, you have 15.
Nah, I felt like there's some people that I felt like we weren't on the same team because they're just very like, this is what's happening. You like diagnosing me. And I have other therapists who were like, we're on the same team. So when I see it with the kids, I just support them as much as like, or even with clients that I have that's in pain, like I support them.
Do you try to act more paralyzed so that they're...
That's only for like movies, Disneyland, Six Flags to cut.
Disneyland.
First time we went to
Get me to the front of the line, motherfucker.
First time we went to Knott's with him, he was like, check this out.
What did you do? What did you do?
He went to the front, dude. Because as soon as they saw him, it was like the first time we started going places again. As soon as they see him, they're like, there's like a special fucking thing. Like Mickey Mouse comes out, rolls the red carpet. Goofy, I didn't know you were
Kicking the regular kids aside.
VIP TJ.
That's how VIP it is. Mickey comes out at Knott's.
They have the girls with the sparklers come out.
You get every theme park.
They're like, hey TJ, here's your ride.
It's Dole Whips.
I'm going to be next time.
Welcome to Matterhorn.
I still didn't know what it would be, but yeah, they do it before he even says anything. They
Because
just, like,
while I was at the hospital, we had like special like groups that would be like, oh, like we're gonna take you out to places. And like, oh, I could do all this stuff. They're like, yeah, you just gotta ask or they know. So by the time I was out, I was like, yo, I have all this ammo. We could just do whatever we want.
even
like,
parking, he just goes, just put this on your mirror.
share it. Or even like movie theaters, I'm like, oh, cool. Batman was opening this weekend. I go up, hi. And then I just extend my cane that I have. I'm like, all right, all my friends are right here.
And they're like, oh, you're blind? To see Batman.
Oh, you're blind?
He's a wrong cane.
Hey, every once in a while I gotta pull that trick because sometimes they're like, oh, you're using the power card. I'm like, I put it back and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna walk even more messed up, and then the person just goes, hey, I gotta use it. I gotta
That's dope.
or like cops pull me over and they're like, hey, what you doing? I'm like, is that yours? I'm like, yeah. Okay, like
Prove it.
No, he's like, okay. And then he sees me park, and then he starts walking. I'm like, all right. And he's like, have a good day, sir. I'm like, thanks. Like, what? Am I supposed to drive a crappy van that's like all like nasty or something like that? Because my
Because
car
cars
is
are
very,
still cool.
It's just like a regular, just like, not regular, but like a modified car.
Ayo.
Yeah. So it's like, well, I can't drive nice things or have nice things. It's so funny.
They asked you that?
Yeah.
Dude,
I had
yeah.
a couple of like instances of that where like they kind of like pulled me over and like, what you doing? Like one time it was this one's like kind of weird. It's like one time I pulled over because I had to pee and I can't control my bladder as well. So it's like, oh, I have bottles sometimes in my car. I was like, cool. I'm pull over pee. Cop come over. I'm like why you ask me questions? I'm sweating, so it looks like probably I did something wrong. I'm like, what's going on? I'm just trying to pee, officer. Well, the exit's right there. It's like I couldn't make the exit. I have a disability. Huh? Okay.
Get the fuck out of the car. Show us.
I was like, so just if you're not lying, just pee. And I was like,
This better be piss.
I'm like, here, like, you want to watch me pee? You should do it. Like, there's times that was like one instance, and I was like, did this really happen? And I was like, man, you made me mess up my nice pants. Like, I just wanted to pee.
You can't pee in a bottle in your own car?
I don't know.
Is that illegal?
It's illegal, but it's
Maybe
like,
they just don't believe that's what you're doing.
yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's like kind of weird when things like that.
You're not allowed to fuck in your car, I don't think.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, so you probably can't whip your dick out.
Oh.
You're not allowed to fuck in a car where?
I think
guy has sex, bro.
I think anywhere except your garage is probably illegal.
TJ, now you just you work with kids at the hospital and then you help them, or like, is it injured kids or people or?
So right now during the week, like part-time-ish, I found a really good boss that lets me like do a bunch of side stuff. So I work with kids at school, so get them to be the best at being a student. So occupational therapy, so like what there's stages in life. So as a kid, it's like getting them to be the best kid and student. So like sensory things, a lot of fine motor, handwriting, just being able to navigate classes and stuff.
How do a lot of these kids get there?
They're just they're just diagnosed. I mean, a lot of them, there's like either there's like a physical limitation, cognitive limitation, mental. So there's always something that's already like underlying. So work with that, and on the side, I mean, I was like juggling school and quest crew stuff, just helping guys for a long time, and now I work with dancers because it kind of just like transitioned over with like just taking care of them, and then seeing them being at the top, at quest being at the top, and like there's no really like healthcare for you guys, and they kind of like,
dancers have like the worst self-care as far as like maintenance for like your body and
Beating it up all damn day.
yeah. And it's like that turned a switch in my head, like, oh, like I want to give back to the community where I was part of, and like supporting like Anthony and all the homies, like which was cool because when we first met, you just treated me like nothing ever happened, or just as me, because that's like I only felt that from like Ryan, Eris, and like a couple of the friends. So it's kind of.
Well, everyone treated you like we gotta be sensitive with the handicap, man. Like, is that what they did?
No, actually, it's funny because right now, as I'm like sitting still.
He's like, no, actually, they were a little bit like that.
that's pretty good.
No, because like when I'm sitting still, it's very like I don't have like a big visual disability.
Yeah.
But it's like once I start walking, they're like, "Oh, are you okay?" And it's like, "Oh."
Yeah, once he starts twerking, it looks way off.
So like, yeah,
Still got cakes, but.
when we met, like it was like a lot of times it was at your house, so it was like not a lot of movement stuff, and I guess it's just I don't know what it was, but
You're just chilling, man.
just chilling. Yeah.
He talks shit behind your back. That's why.
It's
In
different.
front.
He says your glasses aren't even prescription. That's what he says.
I can't move that fast. It's okay.
Hey, tell him about your modeling stuff you're doing now.
Oh,
Fuck yeah.
so a couple of years ago, 2019. So Zappos has this team called Zappos Adaptive, which they've been helping people in the disability community like find better products. One time they just kind of posted like, "Hey, we're looking for models with disabilities," and I was like, my life's been kind of like not like linear.
Traditional.
I was like, I'm gonna apply. Like, hey, you guys looking for an Asian model? Dude, like, boom, and all of a sudden I was like, oh shit, this is real. Like, doing a runway and everything. So we debuted it in 2019.
Let's go.
2019
dude.
in Vegas, and then like RJ Mitty, he was like the guy with CP on Breaking Bad, was our host.
Oh.
And then this past week I did the LA premiere because it was in Vegas. They did the New York fashion show, and now like it's like a movement where they know that there's a big market for like adaptive clothing, not even for like disabilities, but disabilities kind of like is a spectrum where we're all gonna encounter disability just because as you grow older there's less stuff you could do. So now that people know like there's a big market, so the Zappos team got even bigger with bigger sponsors, and we did a LA fashion show, and I was get to be part of it again. I was like,
That's cool.
hey, you guys need another Asian guy again? Because I am down. Like, Asian disabled, just count me in. They're like, yeah, we need you again. I was like, Oh, tight.
Yeah, because they made those. I saw they had like shoes where like you don't even think of this stuff. You don't think how hard it is to put a shoe on.
You talking about the Nike ones?
Yeah.
I heard the controversy there though.
Yeah, well,
That like sneakerheads are just copping them left and right. I'm like, all right.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
People are actually
Because did you guys see
Fucking
them?
jerks,
They're actually,
bro.
it's fucking genius. Like they're pyramided, and you just step your foot on it, it clicks the
clicks
heel
the
in.
back, yeah.
But all these sneakerheads bought them
yeah,
up. I
so
heard.
it's kind of
Yeah,
it's
lame.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it was more like marketing, I feel like, or
Yeah.
like just like feel good. And there's a lot of other companies trying more, but
Yeah.
there's
Fake
there was
woke
that
shit.
One. Fake, yeah.
Yeah, why would they do limited edition?
Yeah, that's so whack.
Exclusive release.
Yeah.
If regular people taking L's, like our community is taking like double L's.
Yeah. Fuck the sneaker app.
So yeah, so I got to be part of that. I just been always into tech, so I'm actually doing collaborating with like Microsoft and Sony.
Whoa.
And things.
That's so cool.
Can't really talk about
So
the full
dope.
details, but I kind of get there.
Big time.
Yeah. That's how you know it's a big deal, bro. That's how you know it's a big deal.
But yeah, that and what right
EA
now.
stuff, huh?
Right now, like taking care of the breaking scene right now with it getting into the Olympics. Just a collaborate. I was able to connect with other people that came from the dance scene and saw like they're gonna need this healthcare support because there's nothing for breakers at least going in, or nothing for dancers on top of that. But breaking was like where we originated from.
Yeah.
So it's kind of getting there. Like, hey, like all this stuff in the traditional sports, it works. So like,
He's from Montebello, by the way, too.
hey,
Hey, Monterey Park. Hey,
Which is funny that people most of the time are like, you're not from Montebello, and I tell them like this cross streets my friends lived in. They're like, what? I'm like, East LA. Yeah, I know Hendrix and Whittier. They're like,
What's the Alberto's menu?
There's no Alberto's there.
Do they think there's no Asians in Montebello or something?
Well, I always hung out on like the south side. So like when
Oh,
you
yeah,
you went to Sure, right?
Washington,
Yep.
Washington side.
Keppel.
Kept. You only went to Kept.
No, but then sure is, Montebello.
Yeah, same. Yeah, but I went to like the non like Asian school, Montebello on the south side.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like always like me and like 6 other Asian people were like the only ones there. So kind of like it's funny because the whole like trajectory of stuff was never like it was just always like odd man out or like kind of just being who I am. And eventually that's what I'm doing now, just being the fullest of me rather than just playing up to stuff.
Do you think that helped you with your whole identity and stuff?
Yeah.
Like always kind of being the odd man out, so it's just easier to just not focus on what the rest of everyone else is doing.
Yeah, because it was from the beginning. I was always like the one Asian kid in class, and it's very like, so it was in being in all these different situations. It's kind of been very similar. So it hasn't been anything like out of the ordinary. It's like, all right, cool, it's cool. It's like for me, it's very like it doesn't Asian, non-Asian didn't matter because I was just already hanging out. It's funny because it was after my accident. That was like the most Asian friends I got after because prior to that, it was just all like Mexican, like Armenian, like everything else besides Asian. To the point where my mom was just like, you ain't gonna get no Asian girl.
And that's a whole different story, man. I think you know what though? If we're gonna do hot seat and all those other stuff with him, stay tuned for that, dude.